Alright, good day everyone, it's Gareth again from Watchable Gaming, and here we are continuing our modded Captains of Industries playthrough. Now, let me check here. This button? This button. Nope, that button. Nope, this button. Yeah, well, no, that stayed the same. No, that stayed the same. Okay, I did update the mods, but I thought I'd, normally I delete a mod when I update it and copy a fresh install. Now, I did do this for this one. I'm not sure if the mod author has changed things. I do know he's added a new mod. It's a keybind mod, but I've not added that mod. I've not had a problem with keybinds, and I don't generally use keybinds in games like this. The menu here is perfect. Okay, now then. We'll just unpause, because we're still working here. Yeah, we're not producing enough resources at the moment, and everything needs to be upgraded. And then, fuel-wise, we're still working... Is this working? Yeah. Bonus production. Okay. Basically, research new technology, upgrade, and move on. Yeah, sorry, I was just making sure the cheats were still working, because I do fresh installs, because I have had incidents where you install a cheat, you copy over an old cheat, and because the game author, the game producer, has altered a file rather than, or replaced that file, you end up with old files in the cheat or mod, and those can sometimes clash with your new game. So even though you've got fresh installed mods, it just keeps crashing. And the reason for this is you've copied over the old mods, not deleted and replaced. Other than that, yeah. I had a plan for this, and it's gone. Literally, it was here, and it's gone. I did know I wanted to talk about something that I just noticed here in the fuel station, but this looks fine. I'm not noticing anything wrong that I thought before, so either it wasn't that big a problem, or it was just a minor irritation. I mean, production is fine, we now have this working. Fuel is definitely flowing in. How much do we have left in the ground? Tons. It's going to be a little while before we actually burn through this fuel reserve. I do know that once this reaches a point where we can't use it anymore, and we've sucked all the underground oil dry, I'm going to remove it here. Then we'll have the oil tanker come in here. In fact, there's a lot of room for a really big oil refinery here. I think this is coal. Or is this dirt? Hang on, it's going to freeze for a sec. Nope, that's coal, alright. And groundwater. This area is actually perfect for fuel depot. Yeah, sorry, it's because of these new modded bits here, it's causing the soil layers to cause a bit of freezing when it has to add all these extra fiddly bits that I can't figure out how to turn off. But anyway, yeah. This will actually be an ideal site for a future thing. And groundwater, is this groundwater? No, they're very beautiful flowers. They actually look really nice. Great game graphics. But yeah, liquid water here, so we don't have to have this monster pipe running to provide water for our operations for steam engines. We could build a massive steam fuel refinery, and can we make liquefied natural gas? Fuel gas. Yes, with hydrogen, is there an easier way to make it? Not at the moment. Most of it is, well, it's fuel gas, so it's not natural gas, so it's basically methane, decomposition of methane. This would technically be the, wait, where would we get it? No. Where's the production formula? No, it looks like this is the only way to get it. I do know you could get a mod which is for liquefied cracking, where you pump water into the ground and it would push up the excess gas underground, and that would be treated as this game's fuel gas. But at the moment we can't produce it. I can't remember if we can unlock a technology. I'm not seeing a technology here to unlock. Looks like most of it comes from... Okay, wait, here we go. Naphtha. We are producing it here. Plus steam equals natural fuel gas and hydrogen. We haven't unlocked this formula yet, but there it was just under my nose, buried in everything. And this one also with hydrogen makes diesel and fuel gas. Because we can use the fuel gas, sorry, I haven't in that formula, in the boilers, which is just water in that. It does make carbon dioxide though, which we'll have to figure out what to do with. But we could build a very large power supply here. That would solve a lot of our problems. Upgraded power generation. Do we need it? I don't know. Also, it's just the first tier upgrade. Oh, come on. Okay, something's gone... Oh no. Yeah, it just adds a low pressure turbine. So we can make more efficient use of steam. Right now, it's not a problem. We have plenty of power, we have plenty of backup power. So right now, this instant, it is really not a hiccup to use. Though we are actually running almost full tilt here. Okay, we've got 3 generators, 3 and a bit. Well, 3 and 1 generators online. These 3 are fully running. The emergency mechanical power supply is working fine. There were some major projects during our watch when they were especially experimenting with battery powered, especially earlier on when they were building those big battery banks, like the one that had a huge fire in Australia, where one of the Tesla battery bank, he built a big power supply there. And one of the big power supply banks, I think, exploded and caught fire because it has been a problem. They were experimenting with what is basically kinetic batteries. And one of the ideas was you basically have a drum underground and you pump it as... You couldn't get vacuum, but you get it as close to a vacuum as you safely can. And you would spin it up in there. And because you're in basically an almost vacuum, there isn't a lot, apart from gravity, there isn't really anything pulling on the flywheel to slow it down. And you would have like 5 or 6 or 7 of these flywheels in this vacuum tank. And that would be your backup power supply. And it could keep spinning for quite a while. Not perfectly. Because remember, once you start using it for power, it's no longer just spinning, it's now driving something. So it's going to slow down a lot faster than it would normally, but it was an idea. But the biggest hiccup with these kinetic power supplies is they either have to be very large. I mean, look at this. These are probably 150 ton wheels? Easily. If we assume this generator is for a person, that means the person would just about clear this concrete pad, I think. Maybe not even. The scale isn't exactly perfect in this game, because remember, generators are huge. If you look on those videos inside, dams and stuff, those generators are huge. The actual generators, the actual powered generators, are enormous pieces of equipment. So you're looking at easily 100-ton ring here, and another 100-ton, and another 100-ton. So, either they have to be large and quite heavy, and driving those to speed, especially like this, would be a nightmare. Because not only do we have our bearings here, but this is exposed to the elements. Dust, wind, dirt. This would be a terrible way to do this. It doesn't matter because the game, even now, look, it's raining, which means this lower section that it's in would fill with water. So now you're trying to drive this thing, and the bottom is filling with water. Water is a brilliant means of slowing stuff down. Apart from dirt, it's like the best way to slow things down because it doesn't compress. Once you hit it hard enough, you stop. Which is why they say when you fall from a height and land in water, it's the equivalent to hitting concrete. So, at least as far as a practical design perspective, this is a terrible idea. This is a terrible idea. It's all exposed. It's all going to get wet. It's all going to get dirt in it. It's going to gum up. I mean, look here. Even the model appears to be rusting. Now, yes, this is a survival game. You are building with what you can get. You're making with what you can put together. But, yeah, not the way I would want to do it. I would prefer this in an enclosed building, just to reduce dust buildup. You're still going to have dust, because you've got bearings, they're going to grind a bit. You're still going to get dust, so you're going to have to figure out a way to keep it clean. But, yeah, not exposed to the elements would not be my preferred way to do it. There is some cover because these are electric. This is probably just standard metal, and you've got an electromagnetic coil here. And as it spins, it generates an electromagnetic field. Oh, excuse me, a gas bottle, and that generates electricity. Now, it is very interesting. It's a beautiful model. Not the way I would do it. It's just one of those weird things that I get hung up on. In the game, it doesn't matter. I mean, where in the universe could you just hit a button? Okay, wrong. No, that should have been set. Or have they been reset? Or did I not set these? Nope, they've been reset. Darn it. Because I had these set high. Okay, that's because I Reloaded the mod, that's fine. Set. It's also maybe the override setting, so yep. But where else in the universe can you just press a button in your tool shed that you can store like 50 or 60 containers in? Now you could store 50 or 60 tons. Yeah, that doesn't work in real life. Ever. Let's keep you guys producing. And now you can see I'm actually overproducing because I have storage. So these aren't producing enough. I probably need another one. Or probably another two. I need a 2-for-2 setup. But, let me close this quick. What's our diesel doing? Yes. I do need a 2-for-2 setup. I am draining diesel. Where is it going? Am I just refueling vehicles? It looks like it. Yeah, as fast as we're pulling it out of the ground, we're pumping it somewhere. This isn't a problem. We've got our auxiliary tank here, which I'll set as an overflow, and its sole purpose is to take the water produced from this facility. Yep. Have I got both facilities connected? Oh no, this is one facility, sorry. But yeah, it is running, it's producing natural gas. It's actually producing ammonia, which means we can make fertilizer. Yeah, I need to increase diesel production. This tank is barely sustaining it. This is barely sustaining it. I've got too big a fleet of vehicles. Okay, I wanted to also set this so we could just keep filling. Keep filling, keep filling, keep filling. Oops. Alright, I did cheat these. I'm going to just upgrade them. So I'll set this to be upgraded as well. I think we don't have enough... Yeah, we don't have enough material to do the upgrade. We're also low on coal, so I'm going to have to just add in some resources here. Not totally unusual for me. So first is coal. 5,000, add... Then construction components, which is also C. Add. Done. Now, my understanding, some of these resources are automatically being dispersed to assigned storage bins. So that's not a big hiccup. Okay, now then. How do we want to do this? We do have a spare connector here, and we do have a spare connector there. How are we pumping this fuel? So diesel's going this way, waste product is going this way. Another source of waste product is going this way. Where is this product? This is steam. This is steam. And I've got both these generators are not running the overclock recipe. Why? Or did I just set one to run the overclock recipe? I had one running the overclock recipe. Okay. I'm going to need this anyway, because I want to build more of these buildings. I'm going to basically copy this structure. I'm just going to do what we did here. I'm probably going to move them this way. And just place them here. Pause the game. Place it there. Let's run the diesel first. So we'll take the projector there. T3 pipe. Where's going to be the easiest lead to connect? I could connect it here, but they were not connected to here. Originally, it was each of these were filling these, and then we were filling into a storage tank there. It doesn't matter. We got a shared point here, and they'll take the fuel from there. So these are mainly production sites. So, can it get here? It can. What we'll do is we'll run one pipe here. We'll run a cutoff pipe, and we'll dump it there. That actually ended up quite neat. Thank you, game. That's actually quite neat. Now then, we just need this fuel, which we'll snag, probably from the same pipe, and then steam. We'll take steam first. We will take steam first. This is the one we've just upped, so we could pinch it right here. Would we pinch it there? The problem by pinching it here is we either have to go this way round, which might be easier. Yeah, I'm sorry. This is a mess of epic proportions, and I'm gonna seriously have to consider figuring out some way of fixing this problem. Are we pumping? Oh no, we gotta go here. Darn it. I'm really glad I put enough spacing for this game. Yeah, I'm losing track of which pipe is which. There. Okay, I'm gonna build this right now. Because we need it. We need to get this system online yesterday. Does it also use 3? Oh, it uses even less steam. I don't need to run this at overclock. I can run it at overclock simply because it'll produce enough steam and then shut down. So it's not a big problem. But I don't actually need it to run at that level. Once the pipes are full of steam, it's going to shut down anyway. So I guess it's fine, we can leave it like that. Okay, household goods, we'll get to that. Because, yeah, we are just not producing enough waste diesel. Enough diesel. This tank is basically empty. We can boost these structures to produce more, but then they're going to want more steam. Let's just... Is there an upgraded recipe? No, there's not. If I boost, what happens? What if we go to, say, 10%? That's actually a fairly reasonable update, because 39, 36. Okay, it only increases it by 3 points. And that. So, yeah, no, let's run normal. It is fine. It is breaking this medium oil down, and we're getting half and half, basically. We are just barely sustaining because we still have fuel. This is still working fine. Yeah, it's just the hiccup where we were dragging all this fuel source away too. So this diesel transport valve is not pumping much. Heavy oil, I'm gonna have to increase this one by 1. Because, yeah, that's going to come up. Okay, construction components, we have an upgraded house. Household goods. That's fine, we'll get to that. And then, of course, decorations. I really need to use this. I believe there was... Oh, no. There was some bonus for decorations. I don't remember it. There. So, what's our housing situation like? Okay. If we go... Okay, no. Here... Build one house there. And then, of course, we have the upgraded Captains of Industry sign. Bonk. Why not? Honestly, why not? We can. I've just ruined these people's sea view, so they're going to be cheesed at me. I mean, how many times have you... I don't know if this is... It's probably happened to someone who's watched this channel. They have a nice apartment or a nice building, and then some jerk puts up another building or a sign. And then there are, it was very popular at one point on YouTube, where you could find videos of people who have purchased land and built truly horrendous buildings, but the buildings aren't for people to live in. They're solely to cheese off someone else. The best example of this I once saw is this guy bought basically a brick or 2 brick width section of land and built a wall and a little house on top of the wall solely so he could block his neighbor's view of the ocean. He couldn't really live in the house, it wasn't a practical house, but the sole reason it existed was to ruin someone's view. That was it. I thought it was, well, incredibly rude, but also hilarious. We are producing enough, well, actually 8, 12. It's just production time versus usage time is a bit slow. But we're not really in a tremendous rush for research. 12. So we can actually support the first 3. We can't really support these 2. These are more like overflow labs. So if excess material is produced, it'll overflow. What's our conversion of vehicles going like? Still replace 32, or to be replaced as 32 vehicles. Still working on it. This is also probably where all the diesel's going. Yeah, it is. I'm going to reduce this to there. Because all the diesel that should be used here, this one can stay full because it's needed for the ship. And the trucks are taking it. But yeah, we are producing enough now. As long as we've got a positive growth, even a positive growth of 1 is better than 0. Coal supply is fine. This is full, isn't it? Okay, it's not. I was thinking of grabbing another train, but it's not really necessary. And as we upgrade our vehicles, we'll be able to do better. Now then, we need more... Oh, right. This is what I was doing. So, that gives us more population capabilities. We delete this structure, we delete this structure, we delete this structure. I'm probably going to upgrade all these houses. I just want to get my nice layouts, and I'm going with fountains. I don't like... And I'll put it here. I do remember these gave a bonus. There it is. Bonus to adjacent housing. That was correct. I do remember they give a bonus. I just couldn't remember what bonus. They require concrete. We have no concrete. And I think we just got an edict researched. Yep. Increase recycling efficiency. Yeah, we could do that later. What is maintenance doing like? Are we still fine? Apparently we are. Is this actually being supplied? Yeah, it is. Yeah, I really wasn't sure about maintenance-wise. Also, yeah, we're out of steel. We've got, like I said, we've got plenty of iron to make steel. We have no coal. That is where we're running into a major hiccup. And now I have to use coal to supply power here. I am dumping excess coal, but electricity right now is a higher concern because we couldn't even run the diesel generators. If we tried to run the diesel generators, it wouldn't work because they'd basically be empty. They take diesel out of here and run it to there. So apart from what's in the pipe, there's no diesel. We actually have to fill this tank before we can start filling these tanks, which, by the way, is actually a horrendous design. Oh, wait, where do I have the diesel pipe connected? Yeah. I could pump the diesel back this way by connecting a pipe here. And, well, actually, that'll work fine. Then that can act. Then this can also act as an auxiliary. No, wait. Yep, almost a mistake there. This will act as an auxiliary backup, if you will, in the event that we have to run the diesel generators. It's not going to pump it into these tanks. It'll pump it into fuel for the trucks and backup for the diesel. Because all the primary fuel is going. So we can make use of this tank first in an emergency. We'll have fuel to use. We're not producing enough, not nearly enough, but we can do it now. And the future facility will definitely be built large scale. I mean, stupidly large scale. Okay, now I wanted to look into fertilizer. Now, this is the one I'm thinking of. Because we're producing ammonia. We've got oxygen, we just steal it out of the air. We can produce fertilizer level 1 and boost farm production. Of course, it'll mean first we've got to build a storage facility for it, and then we'll build the actual facility. Because we'll build it here and we'll run the fertilizer tracks this way. Luckily, oh right, fertilizer is a liquid. That was an oops. This is probably way too much fertilizer storage, but stuff it. It's also way too much on production value, but It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Okay, we'll run one pipe this way, because this will be the interior pipe. Okay, no, I gotta run it this way. And we gotta run it this way, this way, this way. Because this... Oops, nope, come on. Stick straight, thank you. Nope. Connect these pipes there. And then we can switch to full-scale farming production. We don't have to have... basically, all these farms are going to double production. Now the second pipe is going to run parallel to the first. Will it let me... Ah, that's what it did wrong. Okay. Yeah, we'll run this one on the, actually, yeah, we don't need to worry about this bridge. This bridge actually doesn't serve a function anymore. Sorry, it's camera angles. Getting the camera angles wrong. Nothing else. Voila. Fertilizer. And more water than we know what to do with. Awesome. Keep full. Yeah, the trucks won't take it from there. And we can upgrade, switch all these farms to full-scale production. We have 5, 6. Okay, so we have less potato production than we have that. But that's not a big problem. We could even this out. We could always build another potato facility here and run a belt right through here to connect. But I think we're doing alright as far as food storage is concerned. More than alright. We really don't have a problem. We have 54 months since a 32-month day, almost 2 years of reserve food. So, once again, no problem. Okay, where do we want to build this fertilizer plant? Because we need... Oops, not waste disposal. We need this, and this will make fertilizer, because we're going to do this. Ammonia plus oxygen equals fertilizer, so we don't need a lot. I would have loved to run a pipe, but it's like really... I could. We gotta ship liquid anyway. I would prefer to run a pipe, but we're gonna ship liquid anyway. So... do we just put it here? I mean, it's a bit of a weird way to run the pipe, but it's sort of like tucked out of the way. And then we'll have like 4 facilities producing ammonia. Sorry, 4 facilities producing... fertilizer. Would help if I put the building the right way around. Okay, and now, where do we? I think let's just pull these structures forward a little bit. These 3 should be more than enough to. How much are you gonna make? 30 units, yeah. Would we go this side way? We go this way. How does this look? So we don't need a lot of room for, oops, connecting pipes. We could put the ammonia tanks right here. The oxygen tanks, the oxygen system could sit here and then feed in. And we'll just run the, nitrate pipe. How much do we have here? 2,000. What is actually producing it? Okay, we're producing 9 ammonia. Nitrates. Ammonia. That's a slight problem. That's not enough to do anything. Where are you getting your steam from? You see, this is one of the... Oh, you're getting it right here. We can build more of this structure. we can actually build another one. And we can place it like right here. We can siphon material off this connector here. Can go right there. Steam can come right here. Nitrogen can go this way. No, wait. Let's connect the water first. Then we can run the nitrogen tank right there. And then we just need to run the other materials. Is there a gap? Yep, there's a gap. So, actually, I keep forgetting you can do that. You can just click over a slot and it will automatically access the pipes you've got selected. Because I have tier 2 belts selected, it'll give me tier 2 belts. And we just boost construction. Oops, wrong button. And done. And that still won't provide enough. In fact, it barely provides enough for one ammonia plant to produce. So if you look at what I'm producing, 9 and 9, so it's just a little bit over 12. Not by much. Math. Game has a math function. Keep forgetting it's got a math function. 9 plus 9. 18. I forgot that it's even in this game. It's actually a really nice function. Turn off. That you could just quickly go here and run the math systems for it. It's just one of those little I've forgotten the term. I'm going to build this over here. Because there's no point in building it far away. Dunk. Oxygen tank. How much air do you need? 18, so you'll need 2. First, let's get your ammonia. I'd rather have one facility running 24/7 than 2 facilities barely running. It's one of the mistakes I do tend to make in games like this, where I overbuild my production capability and I don't have enough raw material to actually make use of what I'm producing. I have done it several times before in this game. Now, normally, as I said, I've got a cheat mod. I can easily deal with this thing. It's not a big hiccup that if I don't have enough resources, I can just add the necessary resources. But this, I will admit, in a way, this guy's mods is much nicer because it forces me to do this. Normally, okay, I don't have enough resources. I'll just add a resource spawner, or I'd make one of these containers unlimited. So in a way, it's actually quite nice because I will admit this game I've never actually put in the effort to properly. Okay, where's the production put in there? To properly okay, it must be under crude oil. To properly do all the stuff you need to do to make. Where the heck is the oxygen thing gone? To actually set up the proper production lines to make stuff. I am getting myself lost today. I don't know why. I feel like it's so weird. I'm like an airhead. And it's actually annoying. Where's the O2 production? We have it. I mean, flippin' heck, there's one right over here. Where is it now? Here it is. Air separator. That's weird. Why can't I find it? Okay, I'm gonna look for it now. Is this called an air separator? Okay, it is there. But where on earth did I... What's it under? Not under water recycling, it's not under smelting, not under food production, not under power production, not under crude oil production, not under waste management, or is it under waste management? No. Nope. Not under storage, not there. Did one of my mods upset this? This is the modded guy stuff. I'm not currently going to I'm not probably going to work with any of this. This is the one mod. There is another which adds what I like. Okay, this is weird. Where's my air separator? I can find it. There it is. Under my blinking nose. You people probably screaming at me in the blinking comments. Not that I have that enabled, but you probably are. Because I'm blind as a freaking bat. Which is actually true. I wear glasses. So yes, technically I am blind as a bat. Okay, it wants 18 air. This produces way too much air, we're going to be fine. Mind you, this is like the simplest and actually nicest building you can get in this game, because most games don't actually care about what you can pull out to the environment apart from raw materials. If you want resources, yes, every mining game can pull up mineable resources. That's not a problem. It's completely normal to do that in a game that you could mine resources. But not many actually have systems for air separators. I think Satisfactory might have something for pulling. No, I don't even think Satisfactory does anything for actual air. Water, oil, yep. I haven't explored enough into Star Rupture. I've only recently got it with the Steam Summer Sale. So I'm not sure if there's something nice to pull out there as well, or if there's if there's a manufacturing system that uses the atmospheric environment for production. So I'm not 100% sure on that either. I haven't gotten far enough in that game. I will admit, that game, Star Rupture, is a very nice game, but it is very early access. Let me guess, no concrete. Oh boy. Did that actually add to shipyard? Yes, it did. Okay. I gotta upgrade all these buildings. Where is concrete going? Because I am producing it. I even have the upgraded mixers. Ah. None of crushed slag. In fact, there isn't any crushed slag at all. Why? Because no coal. Oh, this has been my problem this entire playthrough. I have no coal. I have coal stored. I have no coal. I'm going to wait for the rest of the ship upgrades. You know, this is the mod thing. Ship bridge. Can I actually research this technology? Yes, I can, but it's a bit further down. I'm not in a rush to, you know, race to go back out to sea. We kind of have everything we need. I'm not going to change this yet. I want to start topping up fertilizer first, and then I'll swap it over. Because, yeah, right now this facility is running bare minimum. Bare minimum. And the only reason it's boosted is because there's so much stored. I probably could have built a second one. It's just, it will run out eventually. I don't think we're producing enough. No, 9 and 9. And it wants 12. So these two facilities barely, just oversupply. Just oversupply this facility. And what are your storage? You're doing fine. Rubber production, the only reason it's empty is it's going somewhere else. Look. We are hitting a net positive for fuel. This is excellent. Absolutely excellent. Now we're basically producing as much as we're using, which is fine. That's perfectly fine. I'm perfectly happy with that. That's awesome. I need a lot more concrete. Yep. If I go to shipyard, dump to base storage, I click that button. Yeah. It basically takes anything. I'm not sure why I didn't move the lab equipment, because there is a spare, or is this full? Oh, it's full. That's why I didn't dump it too. Okay. Yeah, this is part of the modded warehouses. These are also stupid storage capacity. Parks idle and unassigned excavators, so stop sitting around unused at the mine. Nope. This is to park trucks that are not currently in use. Mega warehouses. Don't need them. Probably not going to use this gentleman's modded stuff. I've just added them as part of the mods in case something here comes up useful. Right now it's not. We're perfectly good. Yeah, this whole thing is basically stalled because there's no coal. There is basically no coal. I am sharing the coal, so that's not a problem, but there really is no coal. I am storing some of this coal. What am I using it for? Oh. It's going to the shipyard. Sorry, it's going to the power plant. I'm going to erase this. This was used because I needed to store coal for the original rubber processing. We're not using coal in rubber production anymore. It's not a problem. Right now, most of the coal is being dumped here. This is where all that coal has been going. So we've actually been stripping coal from our production operation and dumping it into the power plant. Which is not a problem. We want the power plant to keep going, because we are not mining enough coal to keep this facility running on its own. Which is why I needed a net positive here, so I could keep the diesel generators going if we run into that problem. Alright, direct heating. This was one of the mods that I may actually be interested in. This uses steam to heat your residence and improve it. Pipe in depleted steam and the heater warms the entire settlement. Outputs water as condensed so you can feed it back into your steam loop. Keeping pops heated boosts happiness in mid to late game cities. Turns surplus steam from your power plants or steam heater into a product to use. I am tempted. Let's just check this building out first. Okay, it must be placed in a highlighted spot, which means it would go here. Which means I would build it right here, because this would be the correct place. And I'd pump the water into a storage tank or something. Or dump it in the ocean. I mean, there is piping here. I can just run another pipe to dump ocean. Problem is, where do we get the steam from? Okay, I'm going to place this here. It wants depleted steam. Now, how easy is that to get? Because right now we're not using any depleted steam. Can we not make it with, yeah, it's actually not easy to get. We either have to use coal again, or we gotta use a boiler gas to produce water, and it produces depleted steam, because it's a modded item. We do get it from low pressure steam, but yeah, not at the moment do we have anything. Also, this may have actually caused a problem, because here's a low pressure turbine. Normally it would produce low steam and it would produce waste material. Now it's changed to that, so ouch. I can't remember if that was actually part of the game. It might be part of the game. I honestly don't remember. Okay, so we're not going to use that right now. Steam heater? Okay, this is more part of the mod. Okay, that's fine. Is there any other production setups we need? Not at the moment. We do actually want to look for... I'm thinking about this now. It may pay us to upgrade the ship. What do you need to upgrade the bridge? Steel. Ouch. We have the other resources. That's here. I don't think we can get at it. Or can we get at it? We might not be able to get at it at the moment. I may have to just build a backup warehouse. This one, they can export. I'll let them do it. It's this electronic components that is going to be a problem. So I'm going to actually have to pull a warehouse forward. Oops, that's bad. Forward. Copy this. Grab it like this. Can I do this? Yes, I can. Let's build it quick. And I want to decrease it by half. Okay, no, it's fine. Problem is, it's going to strip all the resources out of this one, and that's no good. That is no good. So we're going to set you to 1,000 and set. Because I don't want to take all the resources out of this storage bin. Of course it does need electronics and the other stuff. Where are you struggling to get to? I'm confused. Oh, right, wrong. Move. Clear? Where are you struggling to get to? Why on this planet are you trying to get there? You don't go here anymore. Period. I must have not reset it. Trucks don't deliver here anymore. Like, at all. You only deliver here. Oh, that's why. Okay. Slight hiccup. Everything is full. -1. Everything is full. Now, it could be because, as I said, I deleted the mods originally, because I do a clean wipe to make sure there's no excess files, and then I only reload a new mod. So that's just the way I do it. You would think this massive operation would be producing coal. It's really not. How are we doing on car swaps? How many are left? It says replace 38 out of 94. I actually thought that was the amount of vehicles left to be replaced, not the amount of vehicles we still needed to replace. What are you... Wait, oh. No steel, no car parts. No car parts? I have to find a coal mine in the world. I have to find a coal mine. I have to fix a cargo ship, which we do have one. Did we fix it, though? I'm not seeing it here, so I'm assuming we fixed it. We must have fixed it. Can we get here? No. Nope. Nuh-uh. Nope. Yes. Once the upgrade is complete, we will go fix it. Right. No steel. I forgot to tell these vehicles you can export. That's a whoopsie on my part. They say electronic components. There's literally bundles of wire and a little electric motor in it. That's it. And this constitutes electronics. This is 1940s electronics. Oh, I remember I watched this video. It was talking about the radio sets they used during World War II, and it was showing off a guy. They would harvest the early generation radio sets, used a crystal, a literal crystal, as part of the design for their operation. And there was this, they had this whole video. It was a military video where it was showing how important it was to select these crystals correctly, to cut them to the correct specification, and it was a whole documentary video. I wish I could remember what it was called. You may be able to look it up. YouTube, World War II crystal radio cut, or World War II radio crystal cutting. It may pop up under that, but it was just, sometimes some of the videos you find on YouTube are ridiculously interesting. And one of the really nice things, and I will admit in this respect I find YouTube very valuable, is a lot of these old videos, and I mean really old, World War II procedural videos. You can find them on YouTube. And not just American or Russian, but German and French and Italian, where they discuss, this is the piece of equipment you're working on, this is what you got to do to maintenance, this is what the part numbers are, this is how you do this. I watched a video on a World War II bomber, the twin-engine bomber, not the new one, the Heinkel, I think, not the Heinkel, the Junker, yeah, the Junker or whatever one, the Boxley one. And one of the things in the video, they were going over maintenance, they were going over replacing tires, refilling, checking medical systems, but one of the things that really surprised me is this twin-engine World War II bomber had a retractable module on the back of its tail section that retracts into 4 air brakes so that the bomber could be used for dive bombing. And it was like, wow, I never even knew that. I didn't know that was a thing. I never thought I would... You think World War II, you think dive bombers, you think the German Stuka, you think the American, oh, what the heck is that plane called? It was even in the movie. Anyway, you think of the Americans, you think of those single-engined aircraft as dive bombers. You do not think that anyone would use a twin-engined aircraft as a dive bomber. And apparently, yep, the Germans used twin-engined aircraft as dive bombers. Now, apparently this was actually Hitler's fault. He wanted everything to be a dive bomber because he thought it was more accurate, or for whatever reason, I have no idea. But it was just one of those things that I was like, wow, I didn't know that. I didn't even know that was a feature. I didn't know anyone, why would anyone ever install dive bomber brakes on a twin-engined aircraft? And I'm like, really? We're talking about a twin-engine aircraft. It's not going to be, it's due to the extra weight, it's not as structurally stable as a conventional single-engine piston plane. It's more likely you're going to break something off if you nosedive this thing, let alone have the power, not to mention it's heavy. So you need big engines to pull that aircraft out of a dive once you're going straight down. So this thing is big, it's heavy, you would never think to use it as a dive bomber. Nope. Apparently the Germans, yep, it's a dive bomber. I'm like, that's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous. But they did it. There are unfortunately no surviving examples of this aircraft. All of them were destroyed. I'm not sure if they were all destroyed during the war or some were scrapped afterwards, but they were all destroyed. So there's no surviving examples of this aircraft. Hang on a second. I'm just going to pause quick and look up the name properly. Okay, that took a lot longer than I thought it would to find. It is a Dornier DO-217 bomber. Not Hankel, not Junkers, Dornier. I'll add a link to the video in the description below when I upload this video, so it'll be there. So you can take a look if you want. If you're interested at all of it, it's fine. But that was the aircraft I was talking about. Man, that was actually hard to find. You type in twin-engine dive bombers, and unfortunately Germany has a few of them. And if some of them are just people thought they were used as dive bombers, and others were on the drawing board and they pop up. Unfortunately, Google search, especially when you're not quite sure what you're searching for, is a little difficult. We're running out of steam here. Yep, we've run out of power because our steam generators were out of coal. We are completely out of coal. Damn it. Okay. No. We have finally run out of coal. We got a small amount of coal now, so the generators kick back in. And then we're out of coal. There we go. Power production is now entirely diesel run. That'll give our coal plants enough time to resort. Now we just got to see how quickly we're going to run out of, well, diesel. Because, yeah, that's going to start dropping. Because we are running entirely on our backup power now. Oops. Am I recording again? Yes, I am. Thank goodness. Anyway, found the aircraft. It took a bit of doing to find it. It is in the description below. It will be in the description below this video if you want to check out the YouTube video. It is the maintenance of a Dornier DO-217 with English subtitles. And there are no surviving examples of this aircraft anywhere. There are other versions of this plane, but this particular model, as far as I understand, has been completely destroyed. There are no surviving examples of this aircraft, which is a shame because talk about a weird... I mean, really? Air brakes on a twin-engine bomber? I'm sorry, for me personally, that just sounds incredibly, incredibly stupid. You're more than likely going to drive the thing into the ground. Maybe they use the air brakes also to slow the aircraft down when it lands? There's a practical application of it, but my understanding is this was actually designed so the aircraft could be used as a dive bomber. Which is ridiculous. I may be incorrect. Unfortunately, another drawback to our current internet is you can put anything on it and it can be anything. Okay, we have power again, which means we have water, we have things we are not quite boosting as nicely as I wanted. Does it show how much each building produces? Oh, 50% plus 1 plus the decoration. And this produces... Okay, it doesn't actually tell me... Ah, here it is. Total 4.8. And this one? 4.8. 4.8. Oh, bugger. I was actually hoping it would have the individual for each building so I could see, okay, this is in fact doing something. No, this is just the default total. Though we do seem to be doing okay. What research was completed in the meantime? Distillation level 3. And of course we have the upgraded stone crushers. We don't have anything to crush with upgraded stone crushers. Cool caster. It would be wonderful to upgrade to these things. Even the upgraded blast furnace. Except we're not producing enough coal. This is going to become a recurring theme, I'm afraid. I'm confused. What else is... Oh, no. It shows me that there's something else here that's upgraded. But I'm not seeing it. Upgraded seawater pumps. Thermal distillation. That's very nice. And level 3. Oh, we can make fuel gas. With light oil with distillation level 3. We may do that later, because we can use fuel gas to power our steam generators instead of... Okay, this is a steam heater. And we can use fuel gas to generate excess steam. That could actually be really useful. Then all coal can go to production instead of a steam power plant. It would mean a little change in setups, but I think that is what we're going to do. I just got to remember it for the next video because we're kind of hitting the end of the time limit on this one. We could probably get started, design the building and everything. Okay, we want to use this. So we're going to pause. We're going to see what we need to do this. It wants, once again, steam. That's not going to be a problem. We'll use electric for this, and then we'll use the fuel gas for the primary power plant. We're going to probably build it here, and we'll build the steam power plant. Problem is we have to decommission this structure to... well, no, we can just swap it out. We can swap it out. We can just swap it out, and that won't be a problem. The other drawback, though, is the fuel gas boiler produces carbon monoxide. I'm going to cheat that and store it in a tank. I'm going to store that in a tank. But yes, that would work. How much? We are producing a lot. This is not going to be a problem if we want to go a bit big. Which way to route the piping? I think we're probably going to route it back this way and come up this way, next to this system. And we'll build this tier 3 cracking unit here. And let's just build one and select. Okay, it's the default select. Fuel gas, light oil, steam. Perfect. Fuel gas, light oil, steam. Steam will be here. I may move the building a bit. I'm just going to go for it. I want to go large. Fairly large. I'm thinking 6 buildings. At least. Can I build it like this? How much? 30. And the average production is here? 30. That means we can actually produce... okay, we can do 4 buildings. We can do 4 of them, because we can support 4 of them. Which, you know, makes sense. Okay, I'm not going to do it this way. Oh. I'm going to do it this way. Each one of these needs 3, which is 12. Not 24, 12. So we only need 1 steam generator to supply this whole system setup with fuel. That'll be quite nice. Okay. We want 1 electric boiler, which we'll tuck in here. We're going to siphon off some water and store it in a tank. I'd rather not have the water. I want a buffer. Just because this is the way I do things, so it's much safer for me if I create a buffer. Okay, I may need to, you know, just push this building a bit further forward, or do I want to pull the tank back? I think let's pull the tank back. Connect it, say, there. It's not happy with the fact that I'm just trying to add a connection joint there. That's fine. Now then, we want to definitely share this fuel, the steam evenly. So we will take our balancer and put it here in the middle, I think. Also mustn't block the trucks from being able to pick up fertilizer. Now, this does mean we're going to have an initial situation where we basically won't have any power as I swap over. We'll be relying entirely on our diesel generators. Okay, now I want to copy these structures. And I'm going to place them one here, a bit further away, leaving a gap for the trucks, and the other one with a gap in between. Now, this one will switch to. First, I'm going to set that. Switch to. Not that. What are you producing? You are producing that. Okay. I think these are all now set to. Okay, no, that's set to 5,000. Okay, yeah. I just got to check that the override stays intact. Why does this feel off? Because it is off. You will switch to fuel gas. And you will set. Let's go to cheats quick. Let's go to... no, it's not cheats. It was it? This is booster. This is the resource default. I'm going to upgrade these storage tanks level 2 from 5,000 to 50,000 because simply I'm going to forget to do it. Loose storage. I'm not going to worry about these. These can stay the same. These will go up as we go along. Can we change the total storage for the ore sorting plant? Yes, we can. Okay, that could come in useful later. I didn't know the ore sorting plants. It may have updated, or I may simply have not paid attention. I have this wrong. Pull you there. Fuel gas is going to be easier to run out. I know where we want to run the fuel gas, so I definitely want to leave a gap. Okay. Fluids. Place that there. This is the wonder of upgrading our technology. Also, it does lead credence, if you will, to the concept that technology can solve all your problems. This doesn't work in practice, but we're trying. I'll grant you that much. Okay, why'd you do it that way? Yeah, that's ridiculous, but it's fine. Okay, let's get this built before we try and build, before we upgrade our power plant. Let's get the fuel gas going, and then we'll see about upgrade, because yes, we are starting to, now, the problem isn't power production. We can make plenty of power. The problem is most of our power is here, trapped in this facility. And we're just not producing enough coal. Not nearly enough coal. And you can even see here, we are draining the heck out of our diesel tanks. Where's it even going? Ah. Yeah, that'll cause a slight hiccup. Yeah, I upgraded all the storage tanks. Like an idiot. Someone's car alarm is going off. And more power is needed. Yep, it's slowly filling up this tank. Oh, it's going to fill up. Oh, these tanks are going to have to fill up something fierce. Each of them costs 50,000 liters. Or 5,000 tons. No, 50, no, 1,000. So, yeah. You take away a 0, so it's 5,000 tons of resources, because 1,000 is... No, I've got my math wrong. I've gone brain dead. 50,000 liters is 50,000 tons. No, that doesn't sound right at all. YouTube, help me. Give me a math converter. Yeah, that doesn't help. There's the converter. What is this done? Okay, I'm starting to find AI very, very annoying. It's giving me the mathematical formula to convert it. It's not flippin' converting it. According to this, it's 17.6 tons. That can't be correct. This unit converter is wrong. Ah, come on, my calculator should have a proper converter in here somewhere. Oh, but it's separate. It's volume, currency, or length. It's not all combined. And of course, the AI is not helping. It's directing me to the formula, the mathematical formula, to convert 50,000 liters to tons. It's not giving me the conversion. It used to be that you could type it into YouTube and into Google, and a small converter will pop up on the bottom that'll convert from tons to what you need. We're out of diesel, people. We're running on reserves. And now we've got a chicken and the egg problem. Because we can't make fuel without power, and we can't make power without fuel. Ouch. Okay, luckily we have cheats. Spawner first. We want to spawn in 50,000 units of coal. And then we're going to use that same cheat to dump to base storage. Did that even work? I think it did. Yep, it did. Or didn't it? Okay, where the heck did that go? Because it didn't go to the power plant. It came here. I'm not arguing with that. That's fine. Now I gotta add more. Whatever. And now we just want some steel. And we'll do the same thing here. We'll dump 2 cargo platforms available. That unfortunately dumps the coal as well, but... Was that really the upgrade? Oh no. Now it's upgrading. I'm confused. It says it was applying modification, and it hasn't done anything? Sorry, this screen is really in the way. There we go. Now it's done it. Now we can load crew. Awesome. That doesn't actually extend range, but it does extend radar, which is what we want. We've got settlement recycling. We'll worry about that later. I think that's pretty much it for this video. Yes, it is. Timing is fine. I hope you've all enjoyed, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. This is Gareth from Watching McCulloch Gaming. Out.